able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. But if we can give way to the power, our minds will transform. God will bless us to see things better and long for it and praise Him for it and let Him know I thank you for it. While I look forward and I move toward it, praise the Lord. Am I speaking to the right group of folks in here? God wants somebody who expects something. I said, I'll give you the desires of your heart, but you got to desire something. What is it you desire? Pursuing God's purpose. Not my purpose, or your purpose, but God's purpose. The Lord said, do not in your understanding, but in all of your ways, acknowledge me, and I'll give you the rest. And when we look in the Word, when we take God's Word serious, directions is found, the road map. So where we're going is in the Word of God. And He is taking us somewhere, saints. I said He is taking us. He is taking us to the place where we could be a greater manifestation of His.
Welcome to the First Coast Black Nurses Association appreciation of none other than a phenomenal woman, Catherine Hester McNair. We would like for you to just sit back and relax for an informative, informational program about such a great woman and the legacy of Bridge the Gap. Thank you very much.
Jacks, it can seem impossible for one person to make a difference in an entire community, but one Springfield woman's legacy lives on through service and outreach. News 4 Jack's consumer investigator Lauren Verno explains how she left her mark.
So many memories on this wall.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then this wall could fill an encyclopedia of the life and legacy of Catherine Hester McNair.
This particular community at the time she started, her initiative was in dire strait. Okay, full of gangs, drug dealers. But I literally saw my grandmother go and talk to the gang members, go and talk to the drug dealers by herself as a woman. Who does that?
Her daughter, Yvonne Lane, and granddaughter, Tanetta Lane Bine, said McNair never meant or planned to become an advocate for her community.
She went to the doctor with these seniors because they were sitting in these doctor's offices. They had ailments, but they didn't understand the language of these physicians. We're talking about seniors that did not finish school.
While also demanding change from the men in charge.
Former Mayor Jake is shaking my mom's hand.
Even recognition from your local station.
From Channel 4, how old do you think that is?
I think that is every bit of about over 30 years.
Eventually, receiving a proclamation from the city of Jacksonville.
When they see her, here come Catherine, here come Catherine. And because they knew when she come, don't tell her no. That same spirit, that same enthusiasm is the drive here today.
Following McNair's passing, her daughter and granddaughter took over her legacy.
I always say, I can't walk in your shoes, Mom, but I'm going to try to do my best.
Now running the Bridge the Gap nonprofit out of this building on the edge of Catherine Hester McNair Park.
Can you kind of just name off to me all the things you guys do?
We have right now about 400 homebound that we provide services to.
Hosting food drives with Feeding Northeast Florida and vaccine pop-ups for the COVID vaccine.
We have people that come here, you can tell they just shot themselves up with drugs. But that doesn't stop us from continuing to make the commitment to make a difference. Because if you can reach one, that person can go and get others.
Did that start with your grandmother?
It started with her.
A legacy that lives on far beyond the pictures that line this wall. I'm Lauren Verno, Channel 4, the local station.
Today, I would like to start off with our City of Jacksonville representative, Ms. Tracy, because the City of Jacksonville did so much with Bridge the Gap at the beginning when Bridge the Gap was established. So at this point, I would like to turn it over to our City of Jacksonville representative. Would you please give us a brief description or information about yourself and talk about the collaboration with Ms. Catherine McNear?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. Again, my name is Tracy Akers Williams. I am with the City of Jacksonville's Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Department. I am the Parks Marketing Manager. In my role, I focus on providing excellent services through Jack's Parks, on social media, the Parks website, as well as Parks, Recreation, and Community Services website. And I also manage some of Jack's Parks facility partners, as in Bridge the Gap. With the facility partners, I follow up on the license agreement requirements and help to support the program in any way that I can. Just to give you a little bit about the Jack's Parks system, it is one of the largest parks system in North America, maintaining over 400 parks and recreational sites, including urban parks, trails, community centers, senior centers, aquatic facilities, boat and kayak launches, nature preserves, oceanfront parks, as in Hanna Park and Huguenot Memorial Park, the Jacksonville Arboretum and Gardens, the Equestrian Center, and so much more. To find out more about our parks system, please go to www.jacksparks.com. That's JAXPARKS.com. We have a wonderful collaboration with the amazing partner, Bridge the Gap. Bridge the Gap has been a saving grace, an inspiration, caring, consistent advocate in the Brentwood community and the surrounding communities. I would say that the collaboration is a true need. The city provides the brick and mortar to be able to offer the stable meeting place, and Bridge the Gap, as its namesake, provides the many ongoing resources for families in need, bridging the gap or filling in where there is a need for food, clothing, and caring. Thank you so much for having me.
So much. Miss Yvonne, could you tell us how many years have you had the relationship with the City of Jacksonville?
We have had the relationship with Jacksonville, and first of all, thank you, Tracy, since 1989. My mom was the community organizer, and that's when we came to Brentwood.
Awesome. That's amazing to have such a strong community partner in the City of Jacksonville. And I understand there's a park named after your mom. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we are in the park of Catherine Hester McNair. And this was done in 1996 after the passing of my mom. And the reason why this was done was because of the work that she had done in the community.
Thank you. At this point in time, I want to introduce you to my two chairs, Miss Yvonne Lane, the CEO of Bridge the Gap, and then we have Dr. Clower, also the gardener of Bridge the Gap. And later in the program, each of them will be speaking. So thank you so much. So at this point, I would like to move on to some of the activities Bridge the Gap has, and one is food distribution. As president of the First Course Black Nurses Association, we are very familiar with your food distribution because everyone is there. The nurses are there. All community people from all over is there.
Yes.
We get to see your beautiful garden. So yeah, food distribution. And that would not be possible if it wasn't for what two organizations?
Farm Share and Feeding Northeast Florida.
Thank you. So at this point, I would like to go to Farm Share, Ms. Lisa Johnson. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and some of the things that Farm Share does for Bridge the Gap, please?
Okay, so again, my name is Lisa Johnson. I am the distribution coordinator for Farm Share Jacksonville. I started with Farm Share in 2017. We service 11 counties within the Northeast Florida region. We also service Central Florida as well. My role is to go across all these different counties and feed families in need. That can be about 300 to 5 families at each event. We have various trucks, our box trucks, our semi trucks, and our drivers that go across the regions as well to help service the food banks that we partner with. Bridge the Gap is one of the food banks that we service. Each month we get a report that Bridge the Gap services about 2,000 plus families a month. We also provide about 20,000 pounds of food to Bridge the Gap each month. So it's a wonderful partnership because without our food banks, we can't be everywhere, if that makes sense. So through our food banks, we are able to hit these communities that we aren't able to on a daily basis. So we've pretty much been partnering with Bridge the Gap since 2015 when we first were established in Jacksonville. I'm sure that partnership was longer. And it's been such a wonderful partnership because, of course, they're one of our main food banks that we service in Duval County.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. So now I would like to move on to Feeding Northeast Florida, Rachel McCandis. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your relationship with Bridge the Gap?
Such an honor to come here and speak about Bridge the Gap and Ms. Lane. I am Rachel McCandless, registered dietitian and director of health and nutrition at Feeding Northeast Florida. We are Northeast Florida's Feeding America affiliate and our region's community food bank. Our partnership with Ms. Lane and Bridge the Gap started as part of our partnership with the UF Health Smart Pantry program. And she has been one of our most steadfast and reliable pillars of community support. We could not do what we do without you. Your efforts have just been nothing short of extraordinary, particularly in this past year in response to the pandemic. You were one of our first agencies to spring into action with the pandemic, starting to host drive-through distributions, helping to distribute meals from our prepared meals program. With just those prepared meals, you distributed more than 20,000 prepared meals between April and December. And then as the pandemic came on, you've hosted countless mobile pantries, helped us with vaccine hesitancy events. In those areas, you've distributed more than $400,000 worth of food, the equivalent of more than 200,000 meals, excuse me, in your community just last year. I know you best from our work with the corner markets, which you are amazing with our corner markets. These are uh, 40-foot trailers that we have outfitted as mobile grocery stores, stocked with 70% healthy products. And they're staffed by nursing and nutrition students that shop with the clients one on one, guiding them to healthy choices, answering questions about food and health and nutrition, and really bringing dignity to the process of receiving food assistance. And as you can imagine, this kind of program has to have the right place and the right partner. And boy, do we have the right place and the right partner in Ms. Lane and Bridge the Gap. She really targets the people who most need this kind of service in addition to the food. My staff comes back from their day at Bridge the Gap and says, oh my gosh, this was the best day ever. We had 3 cries and 5 hugs today. It's just truly amazing. And I just have to say, on behalf of all of us at Feeding Northeast Florida and Feeding America, thank you. You deserve this honor and much more. And none of this could happen without all of your hard work. It's an honor to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So at this point, is there anything you would like to say to Farm Share and Feeding Northeast Florida? Because that's a big segment of what you do at Bridge the Gap.
I would like to say to both of them, I could not have done it. I cannot do it without you. It's you that make it all possible for us to do what we're doing. So you, I say thank you and hats off to you.
And what I like to say is thank you to you and your mom for setting the foundation, because without Catherine Hester McNear, we would not have Bridge the Gap.
Amen.
Thank you. So at this point, we would like to talk to Miss Veronica James. She is one of the Stella volunteers that helps with everything with Bridge the Gap. So Miss James, could you give us a little bit of information about yourself and talk to us about your relationship with Bridge the Gap, please?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Veronica James. Thank you for having me. She asked me at one point to talk about how I got there. And so my first career was in the furniture industry. And then I started my own design firm. And then I left that and I started working and putting computer programs in the housing projects throughout the city, and came across the name of Bridge the Gap from my neighbor going with me to work in the project, and went over one day to volunteer. When I went over to volunteer, I met Mother McNair, we lovingly called her, who, whether you wanted to or not, you loved and you worked for, and you did exactly what she said gladly, because she just had an overwhelming personality that made you feel good. At the Bridge the Gap, I, at the time, was working at Florida State College for what is now called a dean position over the adult ed, English second language, adult education, and adult high school. And I oversaw the service learning program. I was able to bridge a partnership with Bridge the Gap where we had adult ed at the center. We had students coming over and providing whatever assistance they could to get their service learning credits. And that worked very well for years until I think they may not have a program now, but we did that for many years. Then I also went to do homebound deliveries to the clients who couldn't come get their food, which I still do. I also was responsible for picking up the donations of goods, clothing, furniture, computers, you name it, from Disney, Pottery Barn, Williams Sonoma, and Home Depot, and office supply stores, and others, through the partnership we have with 360, which is now 360, used to be Gifts in Kind, but it's 360 now. And through that partnership, we were able to provide much needed gifts to people all over the city. And believe it or not, I went over it, like I said, to just do some Christmas baskets over 30 years ago. After meeting Yvonne and working with her mother, Yvonne's strong dedication to preserving her mother's legacy and commitment to community has kept me there. And so I'm still doing whatever they ask me to do. Thank you.
James, and we actually have something in common with Florida State College of Jacksonville. I am currently trying to get nursing students to come to do service learning at Bridge the Gap. I'm in the process of doing that now, so very good. Well done for your volunteering, your service. Anything you would like to say to Ms. James?
That's my girl. I thank her. I appreciate her. She has been one that I can go to at any time for any reason. It doesn't matter what it was or what I needed. She was that shoulder for me. And she's still that shoulder for me.
Awesome. Every organization need a Miss Veronica James. Thank you so much. So at this point, we would like to move it over to another branch of Bridge the Gap. As you both have heard, food distribution, clothing, household goods, all types of things. But they have a garden. And the name of the garden is called the Garden of Eden. They have a large amount of land thanks to the city of Jacksonville.
Yes, yes.
And they decide, why not take this land and help the community? So at this point, I would like to introduce you to none other than Dr. Clower, and he's going to talk to you about the garden. So could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and the garden?
Sure. So I'm a semi-retired family physician. I practiced on the west side of Jacksonville for about 32 years and was the chief medical officer for Baptist Primary Care from 2001 till the end of 2020. And as I said, I'm semi-retired. I'm working as a physician consultant now for Baptist Health. And one of my passions and loves is gardening and cooking. A mutual friend and one of our physicians somehow met Tanetta Bynes. He was practicing on the Blue Cross campus, and Tanetta works at Blue Cross Blue Shield at the time. This was pre-COVID. And Blue Cross was sponsoring a statewide competition to have I think a $10,000 grant for how can we better the community. And Dr. Moore thought, well, this is great. There's this land that Tanetta told him about, and let's do a community garden. And you had to make a video and all that sort of thing. And so he came to me because he knew I like gardening and said, you want to help with this? And I said, sure. And so that's how this started. This was last summer, about this time when this thing started rolling out. And the garden at the time wasn't a garden. It was just a big patch of dirt surrounded by a chain link fence. And so we got a friend who has horses, and he dumped a load of horse poo in there. And we started planting some stuff, and we made a video and applied for the grant, but we didn't get it, but that was okay. And we kept on going. So by the fall, we actually had collards up and some cabbage. And initially we thought we would just open this to the community and people would come in and they'd have their own little plot. So when you're gardening, you're exercising, you're growing healthy food. So those are two of the components. And the last one is exercise, of how to be healthy. And so we did that, and people came and planted a few seeds, and then they never showed up again. So that didn't work so well. So the next thing we did was like, well, you know, we have a food giveaway here. What if we grow food to supplement what's going on with Feeding Northeast Florida and Farm Share? And so that's sort of how this has evolved. And we had a pretty good crop of collards, I'd say.
Yes.
And it's been in an experimental stage. What works, what doesn't. We planted watermelons, and those didn't work out so well. We planted some sweet corn, and it worked out pretty well for a while. But so we're learning as we go. In the spring, we planted tomatoes. We had tons of tomatoes, still picking tomatoes. We have had a good crop of okra. We've got some field peas in now that are producing. We've got some sweet potatoes that we'll harvest in the fall. And so the next phase for the garden is actually to up our production, because we've probably got about 500 square feet, I'm guessing, in this fenced area. Plus, we've got citrus trees that we planted on the outside of the fenced area, and there is other land that we can use. So there's a lot that we can do there. We have reached out to Beth Marlowe with IFAS and the University of Florida, and she has been a great help to giving us direction and helping us learn as we go. Also, we've connected with White Harvest Farm, which is on Gulf Air, about 5 minutes from where we are. This is a 10.5-acre urban farm that's an offshoot of Clara White Mission. And Mallory Schott and Sarah and Alan Skinner. Alan is their soil biologist. He has helped us with thermophilic composting, which we're still learning about. Mm-hmm. They've both been great resources for us. So the next step is to plant more food. We're going to plant some winter crops coming up here in about a month. That'll be beets and carrots and turnips and, of course, collards and mustard greens and things that grow in the winter, lettuce. And then we'll do a spring plant, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to supplement the healthy food that is going on there from Feeding Northeast Florida and Farm Share. So that's the present and the near future. A couple of things that are happening that are of interest to the community that I'll mention also is Blue Zone. Blue Zone is a National Geographic company, basically a sponsored company. And several years ago, they asked the question of where in the world are people living the longest and the healthiest? And they identified 6 different areas. And one of them was Loma Linda, California, of all places, but one of them was in Okinawa, one of them was in Sardinia, one of them was in Greece, one of them was in Costa Rica. And what did these places have in common that enabled them to have such a healthy population? They were all exercising. They were all eating healthy, kind of Mediterranean, mostly plant-based diets. And they all had a support structure to help them as they aged. So those are the commonalities there. What Blue Zone has done now is come into communities in this country and internationally to help the population if there is a sense that the population wants help and has the resources and the commitment to it. And they are now looking at Jacksonville. They have gone into places as large as Fort Worth, Texas, for example. And it's a 10-year program, and it has to do with teaching people how to eat more healthily, how to lose weight by creating exercises for people to do that, how to stop them from smoking or help them stop smoking. That is underway and under evaluation. I know that my employer, Baptist Health, is involved with them, and Baptist Health has also been a contributor to Bridge the Gap, and I'd like to thank them for that while I have this moment. And then the last thing, and this is a harebrained idea, but it's just an idea. So, and that's a cookbook. So we would have a Bridge the Gap cookbook. We would get some input from somebody like Rachel, was it, from Bridge the Gap?
Yes.
And
Rachel McCandless.
to help teach us how to cook healthily, and then to use the food that we're growing and giving away as part of that cookbook. So that's maybe we can get some executive chefs to throw some things in there and give that out to the people as we're giving them food. And that's my report.
I love it. What I really like about your report is it just started with a little garden. People were planting seeds and saying, forget about it. Then all of a sudden you guys were able to turn it into a much bigger garden, and you're supplementing the food with fresh fruits, vegetables, and grains with Feeding Northeast Florida and Farm Share. And now you're trying to bring the Blue Zone to Jacksonville, right, to Brentwood, to not only feed the community, but educate the community so that the community could be healthier and live a healthier life. Yes.
And we have chickens,
I love it.
Too.
Okay.
We also have eggs. And I'd like to thank the Standard Feed and Seed for constructing our chicken coop.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, Ms. Lane, is there anything you would like to say to this young man?
Oh, Dr. C, no. He even makes sure he send me recipes to make sure and ask me questions each time about the garden, how we are doing with the food. He wanted to make sure that the food gets to the right people, that they can be healthy and live longer. So Dr. C, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. And I bet you spend a lot of time at that garden.
I do. That's my Monday thing.
Yes.
That's one of my days off.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'm sure she does too.
Oh,
So
yes.
now we're going to move into the next segment. And this segment is pretty much about Yvonne and Miss Tanita Bynes. Okay, Tanetta. I'm so sorry. And so my first question would be, Yvonne, what does the future look like for Bridge the Gap?
After hearing all of this today from the city, from Farm Share, from Feeder Northeast Florida, from my girl Veronica, and now Dr. C, the future look brighter than ever. It looks like Mom Dream, her vision that she desired for Bridge the Gap is coming alive. She has always, and even is that desire today, to be that one hub.
Yes.
That way the elderly, you can come right there and all of your needs would be met. Even we become that refuge place. And I see it. We have the medical team.
Yes.
Oh, wow. And this is something that we have always desired.
Yes.
And I thank the Lord because I see it coming to fruition now.
Mm-hmm.
I see it happening. And this is what's giving my joy, is that seeing that God is manifesting what my mom, she's been gone since March of 1996.
Wow.
And she is still living through the seed. The seed is keep growing. The branches are keep getting brighter, getting stronger. The root is getting much deeper. And I thank the Lord. I thank you. I thank you. And I can't, sometimes it's hard to imagine.
Yes.
Little old me, Bridge the Gap, that has struggled but love peoples, got the peoples at heart.
Yes.
And that is the most important thing. I
is.
thank the Lord that Bridge the Gap is living up to his name.
Yes.
Bridging the Gap.
I love it. Bridging the gap to the future generations. So now I'm going to go to your future generation, and that would be your daughter, Tanetta. So Tanetta, my question for you, if your grandmother was here today, what would she say to you? And first, Tanetta, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then answer that question? If Mrs. Catherine Hester McNear was here today, what would she say to you, Tanetta?
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Tanetta Bynes. I am an employee of Florida Blue. I am also the grandchild of Catherine Hester McNair, and I am the daughter of this beautiful lady, Yvonne Lane. And I am just so amazed at what I've heard. I'm amazed at the people that have connected themselves to such a great, rich vision. And I am full just to be a part of this vision. If my grandmother was here in person, because she is still here in the spirit, but if she was here in person, she would tell me, Tanetta, add thou to it. Build upon my legacy and be great. You know, the Bible tells us in the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 43, it says that God called the old, for they know the way, but he called the young, for they are strong. And I just sit here and I just tell everyone that is listening, I am a recipient and a product of a seed that was planted in good soil. What I do in support of continuing the legacy of my grandmother, in partnership with my mom, it is an absolute honor to be a part of something so great. And I don't take it for granted. I often tell potential donors and sponsors that you're not giving into a vision that I don't give into. I give here because I am a firm believer that if you are not first partaker of the vision, you cannot expect others to come aboard. And so I believe in what's happening. We are in a season now where my mom is reaping the harvest from her not giving up. Even when times was tough, she stayed with it. And so I am just happy, and it does my heart so well to see the fruit of the labor for my grandmother and my mom's continuance in her mother's legacy to now be manifested.
So we have been working. We can do it without money in some areas, but we need the money. So we're going to seek grants. We're going to continue with our stores, seeking partners from our stores.
Yes.
We're going to continue with our faith base, because our faith base give us volunteers. The volunteers are the ones that's on every side of town. They come, get the food, take it to the people. So we're going to continue to reach out to do what we're doing, but try to do it in a greater and a better way.
I love it. I think that's a great succession plan and sustainability plan. Continuing to partnership is the key. And it's great. You have, like you said, you have a daughter and a granddaughter. So it's kind of like, and a husband in training as well. I love it. The husbands are great. But what I really like about it is not only that daughter, but yet the next generation, the granddaughter or the grandson. So you always have a seed that's going to keep it going and going and going and going to serve the community. And that's what your mother would have wanted.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. So my next question, remember, Tanetta, I said I was coming back to you.
Yes.
So my question would be, could you please tell us about any upcoming events planned for Bridge the Gap?
Absolutely. On Saturday, August 14th at 10 o'clock a.m., we are having what we call a senior celebration day. And anyone who knows Catherine Hester McNair, she loves seniors. And as a matter of fact, the reason why we are here today is because she took to heart a plea that was made by Ronald Reagan, at that time, President Ronald Reagan, back in 1984. He was requesting America to come together and do something for seniors. Well, she did not just hear it, but she acted upon it. And so and it's also in memory of her, on August 14th, all of the seniors, we're going to be reaching out to community service centers, seniors within the area and throughout the city of Jacksonville, to come and celebrate themselves, to come and be reminded that they are a value asset to us, that we still have need of them. We're going to love on them on that day. We're going to have vendors there, such as WellCare, dedicated seniors. We're going to have some entertainment going on. We're even going to have some giveaways, some monetary giveaways. You know, our seniors don't do gift cards, so we're going to give them some cash. And if you want to be a sponsor or to learn more about this event, you can certainly give the center a call at area code 904-630-0741. We also will be partnering up with the City of Jacksonville, Black Nurses Association, Baptist Health, oh my God, goodness, faith-based organizations, Greater Refuge Temple, under the leadership of the Honorable Apostle Gentile Groover and Pastor Kenneth Groover. Also, Water Life Empowerment Center under the leadership of Dr. Totney Bynes, Refuge in Our Cellar under the leadership of Pastor District Elder Tony Lane. So many people are coming together to make this day happen, and we want you to be a part of it. So please keep a lookout for advertisement. We will be on the radio.
and feel free to call or come on by. It's nothing like coming by and seeing for yourself what we are all about.
Thank you. Well spoken. Thank you. At this point, Tanetta, we're going to give the very last word to your mother, the CEO of Bridge the Gap. What would be your last word, Miss Lane?
My last words will be Psalms 90 and 17. Let the beauty of our Lord, our God, be upon us and establish the work of our hands upon us.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. After she said that, there's nothing else to say. I would like to say thank you for each and every last one of you for being a part of this program. Thank you for helping us to honor Miss Catherine Hester McNair and all of the work she did in the foundation, all of the seeds she sowed. Look what's happening. All of her hard work. Look at how many people are being fed, are being clothing. Look at the garden that's being set up for the future so many people could be healthy, all because of one woman.
Mother Catherine McNair's journey began on November 10th, 1925, as one of 6 children born to Mr. and Mrs. Richard Hattie Grover in Greenville, Florida. She obtained a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Florida in Gainesville, where her studies included foster care. Catherine Hester Grover married Henry R.T. McNair, and they had 5 children of their own. In 1960, she became a foster parent and over the years was a loving mother to over 1,000 children. Mother McNair started going into homes in the community, providing food and clothing. She began having church in her home through her tireless efforts and door-to-door visits. Upon moving to Jacksonville, Apostle Gentle Grover established what has now grown to the Greater Refugee Temple. Mother McNair remained a faithful member, serving as Usher Board President, Missionary President, Mother's Board President, Triple E Founder and President, member of the Board of Trustees, and Greater Refugee Church Rental Property Manager. Mother McNair initiated morning prayer at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. She also served in the following international auxiliaries of the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ of the Apostolic Faith, Inc., Weeping Women, Wings of Prayer, Hands Across the Sea, and Field Workers. She served the North Florida, Mississippi Diocese as missionary president and ambassador to foreign mission. Mother McNair began missionary work, which eventually led to Bridge the Gap. This program was initiated at the Moncrief Royal Terrace Community Center in 1981, where she was the first manager of the new community center. Catherine Hester McNair paved the way for the future generation by creating numerous community programs that are still in effect today.
Welcome to the First Coast Black Nurses Association event to honor an amazing woman, Catherine Hester McNair. We would like to give a little bit of an overview of why she created Bridge the Gap. What was the catalyst for her to start such an organization? Today, I would like to introduce you to the CEO of Bridge the Gap, Ms. Yvonne Lane. So, Ms. Yvonne Lane, thank you so much for letting us have the opportunity to showcase your mom, because she was such an amazing lady. And my first question for you would be, how old were you when she started or created Bridge the Gap?
Dr. Lee, I was 23 years old.
Wow. And how did you feel that your mother wanted to create such a big organization to help the community?
I thought it wasn't strange for the woman that she was. I thought it was just what she do, who she is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what was the driving force for your mother to keep going? Because I'm sure many times when you have a nonprofit organization and you're serving the community, you have tough times. There's times that you want to just throw in a towel and give up. What was it about your mother for her to keep it going for so many years? Because I think, has Bridge the Gap been around at least 39 years or more?
Correct. And
Yes.
her drive was the love for people. Tough times didn't mean anything to Mom. Tough time was her energy. Because she knew one thing, that this program was on the foundation of the Lord. This was her drive. It wasn't about her. It was about the elderly and the persons with disabilities.
Tell me a little bit more about some of the things she did for the elderly when she first created Bridge the Gap. Because helping the elderly, was that a catalyst for her to start Bridge the Gap, perhaps?
How this program started was my mom was a missionary, and she was the missionary of the Greater Refuge Temple. Now it's on, at that time it was on Chase. Now it's on Roe Avenue. My mom she was the manager of the Montfrey Roy Terrace Community Center. And as she was engaging with the elderly and the person with disabilities at the center, she began to observe them. She began to notice that some was without, some was staying to themselves. One night she had a dream. And in this dream, the Lord gave her this program. He even gave her the logo for this program. And the logo for this program was a $sign. Volunteers on one side and the elderly on the other side. My mom taking this program to her pastor. At that time was Elder Groover, now it's Apostle Groover. Apostle Groover took this program, this organization, he blessed it. And he took it under his wings. And this is how this program started. It's a program that's out of need. Bridge the Gap is a program that is driven out of need.
Wow, that's an amazing story. So my question, does Bridge the Gap still have a collaboration with Greater Refuge Temple?
Yes, yes we do. Bridge the Gap is one of the outreach ministries of the Greater Refuge Temple.
Okay, that is amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm sure everyone will enjoy learning about Catherine Hester McNair. Is there anything else you would like to say about your mother?
My mom, she was an amazing woman. Above everything, she was a praying woman. She was a woman that if she needed anything, if anything was going on, she always said, Yvonne, I want you to learn to pray about everything. She taught us to go to God for everything. And everything that you need, He will supply. My mom gave of herself. She loved the Lord. She loved people. She loved working. She went into homes that were fested with roaches and rats. She sometimes, I just like to tell a little short story.
Sure.
It was one of the homes that where this elderly lady, she was way back in a corner, but you had to work your way to get to her. She had, I believe, every bit of 100 cats. And we had to shovel our way to get to her. That's the kind of woman my mom were. It wasn't how you look or what you had. It was your need that drove her. And today, it's the same thing. It's the needs that are driving Bridge the Gap.
Thank you so much. That's a beautiful story. That's a beautiful testament to your mom, and what a legacy to leave for the future generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you very much. Thank you for being a part of this program, Miss Yvonne Lane, Dr. Clower, and everybody else that's a part of this program. And at this point, I would like to say thank you to our sponsor, AARP, because without you, we would not be able to make this possible. So thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.